This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, in the NLT, in the NIV, Salakia. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take your crown. The one who is victorious will make a pillar in the temple of my power. Never again will they leave it. I will write on them the name of my power and the name of the city of my power, the new Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven from my power, and I will also write on them my new name. Hey, Shalom, Shalom, call halal, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Let's give our praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles, the great millstone who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. Just a quick video real quick in the spirit. Lord willing, it is quick. I know I want to play a few clips here. All right, this concerning this whole Tony situation. I know I'm a little late, but the spirit had it on. The Lord had it on my spirit, to bring it out. Okay. And the precept I brought out says in the KJV, Revelation chapter 3, verse 11. It says, "Behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown." And ultimately Satan, okay, Esau, okay, in this system, this world, America, is trying to get you to give up on Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, okay? Esau's whole thing is to get you to denounce Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI. And this is why he's going to bring out the MOTB, okay? He wants to better control the people, okay? And what you see in what's going on with this music industry and hip-hop is that what you're going to find out, okay, is that when people want to go into this world, the higher you want to go into this world, the more satanic and demonic it gets, all right? And there is no running from that. Once you go into that realm, it's just all wicked, man, okay? It's all wicked, all right, because Satan is ruling this world, okay? Now, in this video right here, you got this guy, Latoni, all right? He's going to speak about how he became a follower, a believer in the Lord, okay? He's still, he on a Jesus juice, but, at least Jake getting somewhere, but he was lost, confused, chasing the money, the fame, and he found out how wicked that industry was. And I always bring this out because I used to make music. I used to be in that industry. I came to the same conclusion. Matter of fact, he has a interview here with this guy, Bryce Crawford. Lord willing, I could play some of that, which was a very, 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 edifying and, good video. The interview he did, man, where he was speaking about, his pretty much giving his testimony, and it's kind of the same way for a lot of us. A lot of the things that he was saying, I can relate to it, and come, to understand the spirit realm, Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, and ultimately coming into this truth. And when you listen to what this guy got to say, man, what you should already heard about now, but I got some clips of certain things that they won't allow to be played, whereas he's just gonna keep it raw. All right, but we listen to what he got to say. Hey, this guy could very well repent and come and be of the elect. Who knows? But Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI is putting the spirit on these individuals to expose what they're seeing, to expose what's going on. And that's Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI really exposing America, okay, uncovering the thigh of this place. And these other nations, they're seeing this too, man. And it's infuriating them. They know America is nothing but a complete wickedness and a complete wicked cesspool, man. All right? So that's going to fuel those nukes up, man, which is really fueling the spirit of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI. Okay? So let's play some of these videos, all right? Now, one thing I want to show too is right here. All right, in this little interview, or as he explaining what happened to him, I'm gonna play some of this too. But basically, the individuals, as you can imagine, that he was talking about, they're basically saying that these are the guys right here in the video, some rich ass Asian dudes, which a lot of these these other nations, their children, they're really into sorcery, man. They're really into worshiping the devil, okay? And this is why they be all rich and, fly as hell, because in order to get, to a certain level in this society, you got to bow down to the spiritual demon Satan, okay? And this is why we've decided to give our lives to Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, because it's going to be one or the other, okay? The rapper Noor, an interview he did, he said, when you get to a certain level, you know, of fame, money, and riches in this society, there's a door, okay? And he said, on one side, I don't know if it's some gay shit going on, and on the other side, I don't know if it's some sacrificial shit going on. Okay, but all of it is a sacrifice unto Satan. All right, and he's going to explain, how do you get famous in this world? How do you get famous in the music industry? How do you get famous and rich, period? Okay, in this society where Satan is ruling. So let's play some of this.
But I know it's not really in our control. I know it gets suppressed. But it's becoming more and more frequent for an upcoming rapper who... Alright, yo, how long are we just gonna ignore when artists really speak out against the industry? But I know it's not really in our control. I know it gets suppressed. But it's becoming more and more frequent for an upcoming rapper who has everything going for him to come out and say something against the industry. And I don't mean about bad labels or not being able to drop.
Hey, let me say this too. This is why you have one-hit wonders, okay? You got individuals that went into that world, which I was just watching the video, Lord, I can go into it in the next couple of days, about that rapper P.D. Pablo, okay, and how his downfall came about in the music industry. But basically, you have so-called one-hit wonders, and you got to ask yourself, what happened? How can somebody who's talented enough to make a hit not make another one? Now, you got some people that's just not, not talented enough, or whatever. But the point is, it's not about talent. Okay, it's about what would you do? How low would you go? Okay, where does your morals, where are your morals? Okay, where is your spirit at? Okay, where is your mind at? Do you believe in the Most High? Okay, if you don't really believe in the Most High, you don't really believe in the higher power, they say if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. So a lot of these individuals, they end up falling, man. Okay, into that trap, the snares of the riches, and the fame. Okay, so when you see these guys that's one-hit wonders, 9 times out of 10, they the ones that rejected it, that didn't want to get down with that wickedness, man. Okay, but these guys you see on the TV, like your Lil Durks, your Drakes, these are the ones who was with it. Okay, I forgot who said it, but one of these individuals was going into it, and he basically said, to make it in this world, you basically got to be a fuck nigga. All right, you know what that is. Jake know what that is. A low level, Jake, man, with no morals, no principles, no integrity. Okay, and this is what you see, all over your TVs, all over your radios. Individuals like this, sellouts that don't believe in nothing but riches, money, and fame. Okay, and they'll sell out for anything. All right.
No, I'm talking about something sinister, something dark. Labels trying to control us, trying to harvest our energy. Demonic practices. Things that remind us selling your soul is more than just compromising your morals and integrity for clicks and validation. There is something deeper going on. There's an agenda behind all of this. Because the people who profit off everything don't want us feeling empowered. Matter of fact, they need us to be stuck in a low vibrational cycle, because that's where we're easiest to control and help them profit in their game they created. I always tell you, even these puppets, who a lot of them are talented, I'm a fan of music, they don't realize they're playing the perfect role for what the label set up for them. And as y'all can see by the title, Lil Tony, he said something that just furthermore proves there's a line in this industry, and once you...
I don't know if it's going to show it in this one, but that rapper NBA Youngboy, which, a lot of these young Jakes, these so-called YNs, they love NBA Youngboy. That's all Jake listening to. That's all that fills their ears is NBA Youngboy. And he admitted that they got him. He said, they got me, man. He came to the understanding that they got him. They made him pretty much pollute the ears of the people. So all the killing and, whatever that was going on, pretty much the blood was on his hands. Okay? But they'll use these guys and make them push demonic vibrations out there to the youth, ultimately, and make them bug out, make them become bigger demons, start killing. You got fifth graders running around here with Glocks with switches on them. It's real. I saw a video the other day. You know, Jake was talking to some Jets, and they was at the park. You know how you go to your neighborhood park. Jake was at the park. Little, you know, fifth graders, fourth graders with Glocks with switches on them. Why do you think that is? Because it's all programming. It's all the propaganda. It's all for a purpose. Okay. Esau is strategically, you know, breaking down our people. Okay, and he know Jake like music. He know Jake into fashion. He know Jake into these stuff. So he'll put demonic vibrations into this stuff and push it upon Jake, and Jake will end up going for it. You know, Scripture says the way of the wicked seduceth them. Okay, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth him. You Israelites, man, you end up getting seduced by this devil because of the you know the money, the glory, the fame, the lifestyle that he shows you on TV. It's spiritual because right before I did this video, an ad came on, and I don't even know what the ad was about, but it was just basically like these, you know, these you could tell they were like wealthy types, you know, people, all different kinds of people that was wealthy. But it was like at like some kind of party in this ad. I don't know. It was weird, but this is the point is this is all spiritual. You know, for all this lesson I seen this ad, and it was like basically like these people at a party or whatever. They was all getting ready for like a house party, and it was by the pool, and it was they all have, you could tell they all had money, you know, but they all looked demonic, you know. But it was like kind of like it was as if the party was trying to like show you like, or pretty much show off that lifestyle, you know. And this is what they do to Jake. They seduce you with these visions and ideas of riches and fame and all this, that, and the third. And before you know it, it's a whole different lifestyle. Okay, you were involved in some wicked stuff. All right, let's grab this. It says, Matthew chapter 16, verse 25. For whosoever will save his, it says, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall find it. So those of us that have, you know, really given, those of us that have really given up our lives on the side, you know, and sought YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI, okay? That means we have lost our lives here. You know, it's not about, you know, us and our careers and all these people that are there. They're too caught up in their own little world. We've given our lives to YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI, which it was his to begin with. Okay, but it says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But you got some people who try to save their lives. How they do that? They go and sell out. You know, they sell themselves out to the devil. You know, Esau, Edom. Okay, and the spiritual demon Satan. But who's the physical counterpart? Esau, Edom. Which you gonna find out a lot of these record labels are ran by these so-called, you know, these so-called Jews, man. Okay. It says, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Now, there's not a literal contract that's being signed between you and the spiritual demon Satan. No, this is about you, you know, compromising yourself, your principles, your morals, your beliefs, okay, to participate in something wicked, something satanic, something evil, okay, for whether it be money, power, glory, fame, you know. This is why people do demonic rituals, because they're ultimately going into the left-hand side to accomplish something, okay. So what he's about to explain in this video is how individuals do that in real life. This shit is real. Okay, I know. This shit is real. This is what's really going on. You know? And Jake idolized these celebrities, but you don't know what they had to do to become a so-called celebrity. Okay? And if you knew, you would be disgusted. The Lord has warned us about people like this and this whole environment to stay away from it. Flee from these things. Okay? Let's play some more. And so, like, if I'm talking too much, you know, I don't want to ramble too much, but I do want to make these points for edification's sake, so that you understand exactly what's being, you know, put in front of you. This world is more wicked than you can ever imagine. It's not about your talent. People still think, oh, I'm a great singer. You got people that have kids and they want to put their kids in Hollywood, basically what's going on, and that's going to go into my next video I want to do about this too, is that these rappers, these you know, your Drakes, you know, your you know these niggas, man. These singers, these ball players, all these individuals that's in that world, that limelight, they basically have to prostitute themselves in order to continue to keep that light on them. Okay, to get certain deals, you got to do certain favors. Okay, and this is how, you know, the wicked not only stay in power and control these individuals, but also how they pollute themselves and ultimately, you know, become more demonic, satanic, and ultimately pushing a more demonic vibration. So when you think about it, it goes full circle. All right, these are the crafty, wicked ways of the devil. And in these last days, the truth is trying to flourish and is being exposed.
You are trapped in it. And this has been being preached way before rap. Bro, this shit has been being preached in every genre and generation of music. But even with just rap, I remember when B.O.B. came out saying so much about how evil the labels were and just about how much they're lying to us about everything going on in today's world. Bro, he had hits we never heard from him again. Then there's people like NLE Choppa and Nick Cannon who both fell back into the industry because I don't care what you say, they both had points where they were really trying to expose everything. Nick Cannon saying, I seen people go in rooms with people who shouldn't have been in that room. Why are you in that building? And he's still in those buildings. NLE Choppa changed his whole life around, was preaching spirituality, preaching to heal yourself from within and the outside, was preaching to meditate, don't get caught in distractions, how the industry's evil, they want him to promote murder music, just for him to get arrested and fall back on his old ways. He even said he was set up, but still came out of jail and dropped a first day out music video, violent, unlike all his recent drops, and it went crazy. I made a whole video about that. Same thing happened with Rod Wave. He got arrested right when he said he's done rapping. It just makes you think. But they're also very young. They could have just easily chose their pockets over, you know, the truth. But still, look at people like Pimp C. Look at people like Ice Cube, who talked about the labels later in his career. Look at somebody like X. Everybody speaks out in their own way because it's their experience. You need to realize very rarely does the story help them more than it loses them opportunity. They don't just speak out for clout. These people aren't clueless either. So I want y'all to remember that when I'm telling you what Lil Tony, an upcoming rapper from Atlanta, said, who's extremely talented.
Which a lot of these guys, when they speak out, they break an oath, you know, and they end up getting put to death. Okay, this guy Lil Tony might get put to death, man, you know, because he exposed too much. All right, the reason why Esau has gotten so far for the most part is because of secrecy, you know, his deceit. You know, so as he's getting exposed, he's going to revert back to the sword. All right, but also too, you got these individuals that come up and speak against this man. You know, and even Edomites, their tongues are falling upon themselves, exposing, you know, this system and stuff. And Esau, he'll come and get you. Okay, they got something called the Man in Black. You think that's just a movie? That shit is real. If you go to exposing too much, they'll send you a visitor. All right. You got people that get taken out. We talk about that movie Gray State, you know, that was supposed to come out, never came out. All we have is a trailer because, you know, the director or whoever, the producer who was creating it, they killed him and his whole family. You know, they found his whole family in the house dead. I believe the dog was dead too. So they'll make examples out of you, man. Okay, that's why you gotta get under the spirit of YAHAWASHI, and that's what Lil Tony better do. I heard him say in his little video about the Hebrew Israelites. He mentioned them, so it seemed like he might be getting there. He said he got Hebrew Israelite friends. He might be getting there, but who knows? And we all trying to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling, because when the Lord come back, man, he gonna destroy this place, and we see why.
So y'all don't have to know who he is, but he's a rising rapper who gains absolutely nothing from lying. He's been recently making, not Christian music, but he's been making very, like, just holy, still being himself type music for a minute now, and hearing the story, it all makes sense why he started to shift. I'm gonna play the video for you before I explain what he said, because he did this on like an upcoming streamer streaming. It was very hard to find the full clip. And I'm sorry about the Discord notification.
It was very hard to find the full clip. You see that? It was very hard to find a full clip, and that's why I want to play this one first. I got a few I want to play, but I want to play this one first because it was very hard to find the full clip. Because when the truth comes out like this, people start to pick it apart. People don't want to hear the whole truth, man. But this is the truth. He gonna tell you exactly what the hell going on in there. What these individuals he experienced is exactly how it goes. Okay. For a lot of these young jakes that go into that industry, poor, broke, you know, they give their whole life into this thing and they get caught into this trap. Okay? It's a trap.
That shit was annoying me while watching it. The streamer was getting spammed. But I have a lot to say about this clip, and let's just listen.
I ain't believe God was real until I had went. Somebody had booked me for a photo shoot. They paid me $10,000 for a photo shoot.
10,000 to take some pictures. Okay? 10,000 to take some pictures. All right? Now we're gonna dissect this whole thing he's saying, because this is the reality. This is what happens. This is how it goes. All right? You got people out here that got so much money that they don't know what to do with. And you got the rest of the people that's out here starving. And Esau, he plays upon that.
Me for a photo shoot. They paid me $10,000 for a photo shoot, and we had did the photo shoot on the top of a mountain. And then when we got done with the photo shoot, they got talking about the Illuminati. He was like, the Illuminati, you ever talk to you? I'm laughing at it, nigga. I'm like, hell nah, what you talking about? He like, nah, for real. They haven't talked to you? I'm looking at this nigga like, what you on, gang? That's what I tell him, like, what you talking about? What you on, gang? He get to laughing with his buddy. He like, well, we gotta take him to the booty club. Say, booty club? What the hell y'all nigga ass talking about, man? Y'all nigga got me fucked up. I slapped tell him just like this, y'all nigga got me fucked up. Excuse my language, Lord, but I slapped, you know what I'm saying? That's what I told him. So I'm like, shoot. So then they get to talking about, yeah, bro, you know, it's not what you seen. It's not what it seems. It's like it's real, but it's not what it seems. He was like, he's like, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, he does all the initiations. Like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Which Leonardo DiCaprio is I believe he's a Grammy Oscar award winning, actor. Okay, but he's a high level Freemason. In one of the recent movies he did, something Flower Moon. Forgot exactly what it was called, but it was about Gad, and how pretty much Esau was taking Gad's land, killing Gad off and taking their land. And in that movie, he was a Freemason. Okay, they actually showed him in the lounge, a Freemason lounge. I gotta finish watching. It's a long movie, and it was hard to get through because it was kind of sad how they was fucking pretty much robbing Gad, killing Gad off, and taking their land. And Leonardo DiCaprio might be a Jake, also, I believe in the spirit, but he appears to be a so-called white man or whatever. But in this movie that he was in, he was a Freemason, and he was in the lounge, and it was a ritual where he had to get paddled, some shit like that was going on. So, listen to these names that these people be saying too, because when they mention these names, they're not just making this shit up. They're not just coming off. No, they're letting you know the people you see in front of you are not who you think they are. This world is not what you think it is. We've been fed these illusions our whole lives, and you have no idea how sinister and how wicked this place is in reality, man. Okay, behind the scenes, what's really going on. Hey, I was laughing about it, but it was a skit that this guy Drewski did, where he was showing like them little kid TV shows like Miss Rachel and stuff, and they were showing the behind the scenes, They were showing behind the scenes and how these people really are. People are drugged up, completely bugged out, but they'll put on the show, Showtime, that's Hollywood. When the cameras are rolling, everybody's acting like they're not complete bugged out, Another thing too was that whole Nickelodeon thing, okay, with you know, those kids that was, you know, those young, you know, those adults now, but they was kids when they was in Nickelodeon, and they was getting, you know, fondled with, man. Okay, this is what goes on. This is how the devil dance, man. Okay, and as we get coming to closer to the end of this place, you're gonna start seeing more and more how demonic this place is. Okay, it's gonna be evil that can't be explained away. It's going you gonna see we gonna see some evil stuff, man. All right.
The hell, like these niggas, like they just saying all type of random stuff, gang. Like they like what else they say? They would give me all type of artists that had like this what happened, right? They say you gonna have sex. Somebody, you know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna have sex. They gonna have sex. They gonna butt plug you, bro. Feel what I'm saying? Straight like that. They gonna. I'm gonna cut the filter, bro. Sorry, Lord, for cursing. Look though, they gonna get in there, bro. When you get AIDS, bro, and when you come back, you gonna be famous. When you come back from getting sick, you gonna be more famous than ever. You gonna go up more than ever.
Now listen to what he said right here. I'm gonna bring this back, but listen to what he said right here, because he mentioned a butt plug. Now we know about this guy Alazar and his whole blood, you know, the whole butt plug fiasco. Now he's on No Jumper trying to audition for a job at No Jumper. You know, they have something called humiliation rituals, man, where these individuals, they have to, you know, not only participate in these rituals, but also they'll like blackmail them with the rituals and even, you know, expose some of these rituals that these individuals are doing. You know, and that's a part of their humiliation ritual so they can get to the next level. It was a video this down on that channel, Truth Is, you know, where, you know, they was going into it about this guy, Young Thug, which, yeah, that guy's, you know, whatever you want to say about him, but it was going into it about him, about how that whole, he's a Freemason. You know, they're all Freemasons. Your doctors, your nurses, you know, your judges, they're all Freemasons. It's one big club and you ain't in it. Okay? So basically, hey, you know, in that video, Truth Is about Young Thug, he was going into it how that whole court case was a ritual. You know? It was about, you know, being born and then dying and then the rebirth, you know, his new album and stuff. Everything is all ritualistic amongst these individuals that's in that world, okay, that's in that realm. They're real deal worshiping Satan. And people, we all knew about it growing up about, you know, you hear whispers about the Illuminati and shit, you know, about Satan worshipers and rituals, but that shit is real. This really goes on. Okay, this is a very demonic, you know, world that we're in, and ultimately the Lord is coming to make things right. Okay, as our beloved elder apostles tell us, as their elders taught them, amen. To understand, to appreciate righteousness, we had to understand wickedness. So the Lord brought us down here, put us in these chains of darkness to understand the punishment, okay, the consequences of being wicked. And we see now it get wicked. All right, so let's play that back. So like this computer is trash, man.
Fuck love you, bro. Feel what I'm saying? Straight like that. They gonna. I'm gonna cut the filter, bro. Sorry, Lord, for cursing. Look though, they gonna get in there, bro. When you get AIDS, bro, and when you come back, you gonna be famous. When you come back from getting sick, you gonna be more famous than ever. You gonna go up more than ever. My mama straight like that. So I'm like, what? That's crazy. So I'm like, what? I'm like, for real. He started giving me a whole list of artists. I ain't even gonna put them out there, but he gave me a whole list of artists who sold their soul and basically got fucked in the ass for pay. I'm like, what?
Got effed in the ass for some pay. And that's Jake prostituting themselves. Okay? Jake going to these record labels. I remember a couple years ago, it was about, you know, all these rappers coming out that was, you know, signing the Birdman. And they was exposing how basically they you know, Birdman popped them for the deal. You had pictures of this guy with young you know, these young individuals, they in the shower with towels on, just weird stuff, man. And if you paying attention, you'll understand what's going on. Okay, the Lord is really exposing and revealing a lot of this stuff because He's through with this place. All the wickedness that's going on, and in the dark is being brought to the light. Let's bring this out real quick. It says, 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'm going to grab it in the KJV first, and I'm going to grab it in NLT. It says, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 3. All right, let's go to verse 3. It says, yeah, I'll just go to the point. You know, I ain't gonna make. I don't want to make this too long, and it's late, so bear with me. You know, Jake, you know, a little tired, but through the Spirit of the Lord want me to bring this out. So let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 3. It says, if any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, meaning you got a lot of people that teaching false doctrine, that they don't want to consent to the truth. They can't really get jiggy with the truth. It says, even the words of our Lord Yahawashi Mashiach, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness. So there's a particular doctrine that we follow, that we teach, and that we gotta, you know, subscribe to, you know, in our lives. But everybody is not going to be able to get down with that doctrine. We see that even amongst Israel, these Israelite camps. Okay, they haven't fully come into the true understanding of the doctrine of YAHAWASHI, what this thing is really about. Okay, this is why you got camps to make it all about the law, or you got camps that think it's all black only Israelites or Latino only Israelites. They don't understand the doctrine of YAHAWASHI. Okay, it says, he is proud, knowing nothing, and doteth about questions and strifes of words, which is why you get debates, because you got a guy who's, you know, proud and don't really know anything, arguing back and forth. Two guys arguing back and forth because they don't really know anything. Okay, they don't really know what's going on, and that you see that in the world now with these Christians, the Muslims, these people that do not know YAHAWASHI. They're lost. They don't understand what's really going on. And we know, because we are serving the true power of YAHAWASHI, we can break all these things down according to the scriptures. You know, get to the nitty and gritty. It says, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doteth about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, and evil surmisings. It's like the perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds. And that's what Esau wants to do. And that's what he's done. So a lot of our people from the time they were born in this place, he's been corrupting your mind. Okay? Showing you all these flashy things. All right? He's been corrupting your mind. That's why Jay grew up trying to be Tony Montana. Okay? And end up in a penitentiary doing 3 elbows, you know, 3 life sentences for doing some stupid shit. Okay? They've been portraying these ideas to you through the movies and, you know, the video game and whatever, the entertainment, but it's programming you. You see? But everybody doesn't realize they're being programmed, you know? It says, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. You got particular individuals, you know, even these pastors, they preach prosperity, and everybody in Christian churches, it's all about prosperity, but they suppose that gain is godliness. They think just because how much money they have, or how much riches they have, or glory or fame, or, you know, accolades or whatever they have, that makes them godly. No. The higher you go in this society, which Satan is running the society, you know, this world we live in, the higher you go, you know, the lower you have to be, the more wicked you have to be. Okay? It says, supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. You don't want to be around individuals like that, man. That's, you know, it's all about the dollar bill, y'all individuals, because they'll sell your ass out for the right price. For the right price, a nigga will flip on you, switch on you, and get you killed. All right? But godliness with contentment is great gain. And this is what we come to understand when coming into this truth. Godliness with contentment is great gain. The Lord ain't going to give you too much. He ain't going to give you too less. You got to be content, okay? And that's going to be great gain for you. For us. It is for us. It says, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. When you have a covetous spirit, you're all about trying to, you know, bring as much money and riches and fame as you want, you know, and take it with you. That's what those Egyptians were doing too. What happened with those Egyptians? They had all this gold and riches and fame and whatever, you know, all the you know, the dainties and stuff. And when they died, they want to be buried in those tombs with all that stuff, man. You know, they was getting buried with their horses, you know. Their women, you know, it was bugged out. They thought it would be able to take it with them to the afterlife. Okay? But the scripture says, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. So when you get too caught up in these worldly possessions, before you know it, guess what? You're idolizing something. Okay? It's become a god unto you. I've seen guys idolize their own cars. That's the whole thing. The whole car, that whole car shit. You got jakes that literally worship their cars. They'll get a nice car, you know, and they'll be worshiping it, staring at it. Their whole mind, the car is the only thing that's running in their minds. Okay, and that's just an example of one. But these people, they're all worshiping different stuff that's not Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, the truth. It says, and having food and raiment, let us be there with content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare. Slakia. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Yeah. To get rich in this society, you end up getting, you know, corrupted, you know. But they that be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. So what is a snare? A snare is a trap. This is why they said, how he said in the beginning, how these particular rappers get locked up. You know, they'll get locked up or whatever because you know, they don't want to agree to a certain deal or a certain, you know, stipulation, and then they'll have you know, get locked up. So you got to think, at one point you're on top of the world, next point you're in a jail cell, you know, a cold jail cell, eating a bologna sandwich. And that's like Esau remind you, like, look, nigga, we gave it to you, we can take it away. So what happened? They'll you know, Jacob end up compromising when they're in them bad positions. That's why you see he showed you that with Nick Cannon and NLE Chopper. Nick Cannon went to speaking out, and then they threatened to take his show and give it to that guy DC Young Fly. And he straightened he sure straightened his act up. You had this guy NLE Chopper, you know. They had him pushing that you know, that gay stuff, you know. They had him you know, pushing that, you know, that drill music and stuff. And when he tried to get out, they arrested him. Same thing with Rod Wave. Everybody love these women. People love Rod Wave, but Rod Wave is pushing that depressing bullshit, man. He pushing depressing demons on you. Some of his music is good, I ain't gonna hold you, but for the most part, all that shit is depressing. He's pushing a depressing spirit, man. You know, have you around here cutting your wrists and shit. Hey, bro, there's spirits behind all this stuff. Okay? So it says, and these rappers, they get trapped. You know, they get trapped, and they're pretty much a puppet for these elites to you know, to control and destroy. You know, and their targets is you Israelites, you so-called Negroes. Slakia. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, and you know, you have it where a lot of these concerts and these, you know, a lot of this music is really being consumed by these Edomites too, though. You know, so Esau's own snares and traps is turning on him. Now his, you know, children are drugged up and bugged out kill each other like like crazy, man. The curses are flipping on Esau. All right. It says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil," and that's what people don't understand. That when you love that money, when you all about the money, the dollar bill, y'all, that's the root of all evil, man. So you'll do all type of wicked stuff for it. All right. And individuals do that. I'll tell you a story. Whenever I was making music, I started getting, doing shows and stuff and meeting different individuals. There was this one individual that I met. I did a song with him. Okay, he was cool brother, man. I did a song with him. He was cool. And this is when I started making, when I was like really getting serious. When I was doing shows, I was meeting different artists. I started doing songs with different artists. I ain't know these individuals besides, the music I was making with them, and little talks we had when we seen each other, whatever, at the shows. And I did a song with this one dude, right? And not long after we did the song together, I'm talking to him. It was cool or whatever. There was a thing that happened down here in Tampa where basically it was like a serial killer. It was a Jake. Okay, that was a so-called serial killer, which I believe was a false flag. And this is around the time when I started really getting into learning more about the music industry, because I was going into that realm. I say, the Spirit told me, hey, you need to understand what you're about to get yourself into. So I started studying, and I started finding out about satanic rituals and stuff. But it was a Jake that I knew, okay? Basically, there was this whole thing down here. You know how they have these false flag attacks or whatever, and these things that make the news, whatever. It was a Jake out here that was a so-called serial killer, okay? And he was like just running around killing people, shooting people or whatever. And this Jake that I made some music with, he ended up been at a bus stop or walking past the bus stop or something, and he ended up getting killed and getting shot. But that was like national news about this so-called serial killer and stuff. I'm like, well, that's odd, bro. How the hell you just at the wrong place at the wrong time? But like I said, I was new into that music world, and he had a lot of friends that he made music with too. And after that, a lot of those guys ended up blowing up, man. So I say that to say, who's to say that this guy wasn't sacrificed? Okay? I did a song with this man. Long enough, I probably got around the same individuals that they know whatever happened to him. It's a cycle, man. All right? That nigga XX Tentacion, he was in jail. This guy Truth Is had a whole video on that. This nigga XX Tentacion, he was in jail, and in order to get out, he had to do a ritual. So he had called up one of his friends and had him do a ritual over the jail phone, which was recorded. They did the ritual. Then he ended up getting out, becoming this massive star or whatever. And sure enough, shortly after this, them spirits came and collected, man. And he ended up getting put to death. But these are the agreements that Jake is making, with the spiritual demon Satan, in order to get their constellation on this side, temporarily, smoke pop or pop smoke, whatever nigga name is. All these individuals, they get rich, they blow up quick, and they die, shortly after, It's because, it's that scripture about how the dog, shall eat the crumbs from the table. That's what Jake is trying to do. Jake just wanted to eat the crumbs of these elites, man. That's why they sell out, okay? And ultimately, when you sell out like that, they own you. You belong to them. They can do whatever they want to do to you. This is why he said dudes was getting F'd in the A for some paper. Okay? And what's too crazy is they like, these young, impressionable, Jakes, man. And even these Edomites, man, like those One Direction dudes, those dudes, it's a shame to speak of the things that's going on, in the dark, behind closed doors. But every now and then it comes out, and the Lord will, shine light on these things for edification's sake.
I'm like, for real? I'm like, hell nah. He was telling me that that's all I got to do to get whatever amount of money I want, whatever I want.
They tried Todd, Dick, Tony,
I can get all the rich friends I want. He'll connect me with all the rest of the rappers. I'm like, hell nah, right? So in my head, I'm trying to call. All right, so boom. So now I'm trying to call my Uber to get back to my flight, because it was literally all I was coming down there to do was a photo shoot and then to go back home. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to call my Uber, but get what? I see which one of these niggas worked on me. They got me on the top of a mountain. You see what I'm saying? So I ain't got no service.
Now,
so
you notice he said they brought him to a top of a mountain. They brought him up there to sell a soul. Okay, which is really to cast away your morals. That's why he said how they try to get him to do, the gay shit, man. All right, they want to see how bad you wanted it. All right, and that's just the way that shit go. All right, they say you got to play ball, and they don't only do that because they sick and demented, but also it's to pretty much to shatter you from the inside out, so they can better control you. All right, but let me see. It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. This is why these guys, when I'm gonna do another video, look at Justin Bieber, dude. Look at these individuals that go into that industry and how they got a light on them. They shine, and when they first come in, and by the time the industry done spit them out, they look like chewed bubblegum. Okay. Why? Because YAHAWASHI, was having them spirits, jacking them up. All right. When you go to making covenants and you're doing demonic rituals with Satan, there's a spiritual consequence for that. All right. It says, but thou, O man of the Most High, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. So he said, flee these things. You want to get away from, people like this, man, in that spirit. And I remember when I started realizing this thing, when I was making music, I stopped making music cold turkey. When I realized what the fuck it was really about, how you really gotta do some gay shit, do something strange for a piece of change. What? Tripping. I ain't doing none of that shit. Y'all niggas is bugging. And that's how it really is, man. Either that or you got to sacrifice one of your loved ones, your family members. Kanye flat out said how he had to sacrifice his mother. This nigga Michael Jordan, who you wearing his shoes and shit all the time. That nigga, he had to sacrifice his father. Okay? And they still got to do the gay shit. Listen, man, this place is wicked. So when you want to go into that world, when you want to be this, that, and the third, when you want the limelight, this is what comes with it. And a lot of people who have no integrity, who have no spiritual backbone, they end up doing it, man. They end up doing it. They end up, participating in the weird shit. Okay? And the nigga do some shit like that, hey, you really selling out. You really selling out, man. How much more when they bring out this MOTB, you're going to see people that selling out just to eat. This is why Esau is constricting. Because you got Jake. The reason why they sell out, too, is because they be in the ghetto. They be broke. They either take this deal and do whatever they say, or you going to go back to Roman noodles and, damn roaches in the projects. Then Jake give their whole lives over to this, and they get caught up in it. Oh, man, I got to do it, man. And they, it's not worth it in the end. Because the Lord is going to judge you even worse. It ain't going to get better. It's going to get worse. Like I always mention this song that Lil Wayne made. What you seen what happened with him with him and Baby. Baby was tongue kissing that nigga on live television. That was some rituals, man. That's my son. That's my son. That's not your biological child. And even then, you don't do that weird shit, man. That's a grown man. But he had a song came out where he said, oh no, this ain't paradise. Oh no, this ain't paradise. Meaning they get rich in all the money and the fame. They do get their whole lives over to that to find out that it ain't paradise. It's hell over there. Go watch that movie Blink Twice. Okay? these women too, they getting flown out, you know. That whole Dubai thing. These women getting flown out and getting shitted on, you know, having to sleep with animals and stuff to satisfy these wealthy, you know, individuals that's getting off on that stuff, and they give you a couple tens of thousands of dollars and send you back your way. But guess what? You didn't leave the same, you know. When you do shit like that, you leave something behind, man. Terrence Howard was going into that, how, you know, a lot of these individuals in the so-called music industry and stuff, they end up doing this gay shit, and they end up leaving, they end up losing themselves, man. Okay? When you go and doing that backdoor stuff, that shit plays, you know, and it messes up your mind. It's called getting your manhood took. Okay? That shit happens in prison. Jake go to prison, get their manhood took, and now this nigga is gay for life. Can't even walk the same. Don't talk the same. You've been changed. Your mind has been messed with, man. Okay? And this is what they doing to these individuals to better control them. And then they'll put them out there to you like they, you know, look, she should look at little baby. They saying how little baby is a sugar baby. To these elites. Meek Mill, you know. This is what niggas at the all-white parties getting hugged up on, getting sandwiched. Because they're pretty much prostitutes unto these elites, man. Okay? They sold a boy for wine and a harlot, roughly paraphrasing. I'm about to grab it. But it says, fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and has professed a good profession before many witnesses, man. And that's what we're doing, man. Hey, fight the good fight of faith. And it's going to be a fight, but you got to fight. All right, you got to fight, man. All right, don't give up. Don't get weak. Don't give in to the wickedness. All right. In the NLT, it says, real quick, it says, some people may contradict our teaching, but these, this is verse 3, it says, but these are the wholesome teachings of the Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach. These teachings promote a godly life. You see, so when you go into the Bible and follow these teachings of Yahawashi HaMashiach, promotes a godly life. When you're not following the Bible and the teachings of Yahawashi HaMashiach, you're following a satanic, a wicked, a demonic life. And people don't realize that even, you know, the shit they do is demonic. Okay? I did a video last night about the people that the people that was just eating to eat. You know, there was gluttons. Stuff in their face, just stuff in their face. That's evil, bro. You know. You got people that live to eat instead of eating to live. Okay? So you stuffing your body with a bunch of garbage. Okay? And Esau, he's done that strategically. He gave you the slave diet. So now you ain't in your right mind because your body doesn't have the right nutrition, okay, for you to function properly. Before you know it, you out here bugged out. This is why Jake out there drilling each other, okay, killing each other in the streets because well, they you know, they hopped up on cornflakes and you know, Red Bulls or something. It says, anyone who teaches something different is arrogant and lacks understanding. And this is why you got Christians. Why we don't deal with Christians, bro? Because they'll sit up there and argue with you for 3 hours about something that they don't understand. You're arrogant and you have no understanding. The Lord can't deal with an individual like that, man. It says, and if you argue with them, then that makes you arrogant. You know, or you know, it's like two fools going back and forth. This is why the elders and apostles say, hey, just. And I understand that, like, damn, yeah. To hell with you Christians, bro. You're not finna get it. You're not going to get it, man. Okay? You're not going to get it. And ultimately it's because the Lord rejected them. Anybody who does this stuff, who participates in this wickedness, the Lord rejected them, man. All right? I was going to say something, but, you know, for the sake of time. It says, anyone who teaches something different is arrogant. And I'm saying real quick, because it's been on my mind too. It was a video I was watching about these prison stories about how Jake, in the prison system, they end up, which is it's wicked as hell. Esau put you in a prison system, four life sentences around nothing but men, and they end up, damn raping each other and shit, man. And these Edomites, they get turned into boys in there or whatever, So the Edomites that go to prison, which America's about to be one big prison, okay? Edomites go to prison, they get turned out in there, man. They get taken advantage of because they're the weaker in prison, So basically, it was like this Edomite guy who was telling us, he do the prison stories, and he was telling about how he was like kind of like, it seemed like he was like a little upset about it, like, which I don't agree with the shit with Jake doing in prison at all, with the homosexual stuff. But in his frustrations, he said how, oh, it's the black guys, man, the black guys are that shit started. He said that shit started with the black guys, man. The black guys are in there, raping guys, man. The black guys. And I said, hey, hold up, dude. Do your research. Go into buck breaking, okay? It really came from you Edomites. That's what you would do unto the slaves. You would buck break them, pretty much violate, those slaves. So through the spirit, hey, when a Edomite go to prison and that happened to them, 9 out of 10, that's what they was doing to their slaves back in the day, in their past lives. And when you think about that full circle, that shows you the judgment of YAHAWASHI. So anybody that's getting their, their manhood took, what did you do to piss the Lord off that bad? A lot of our people out here, you pissing YAHAWASHI off, bro. You are offending YAHAWASHI. Okay, every day, and not even considering. So the Lord is about to bring judgments upon our people. We about to see it. America is going to be one big prison system where it's going to be no rules, no laws, just straight lawlessness. All right. It says, I did a video earlier. I still got to post it. I haven't got a chance to post it. I'll probably post it tomorrow. But it was a Jake. He was pretty much going into it how when the whole thing with Katrina happened, they let those prisoners out, and he said how women was getting violated. Okay, there was nothing nobody could do. There wasn't no police coming or nothing. That's how it's going to be out here. All right. So what you selling out for? You gonna need YAHAWASHI, and this house we coming into. It says, anyone who teaches something different is arrogant and lacks understanding. Such a person has an unhealthy desire to quibble over the meaning of words. This stirs up arguments, ending in jealousy, division, slander, and evil suspicion. That's what happened when you have those, these debates with these Christians. I remember a guy came up. You'll try to deal with him, hoping that they can get it. And the guy just went to calling me names. Oh, you're that, and just acting like a complete, emotional, having an emotional temper tantrum. It's like, dude, this is pointless. Right? These people are not going to get it, and the Lord don't want them to get it. You just got to be grateful and thankful that you get it and you understand. It says, these people always cause trouble. Their minds are corrupt, and they have turned their backs on the truth. A lot of our people have done that, man. They've turned their backs on the truth. Their minds have been corrupt. The niggas done heard the truth and act like that they didn't hear it. Jacob roll the window up, put the headphone in, pass by the camp, act like that. Oh, I see you, bro. Hey, I'm gonna come back. Yeah, we heard it all before. But the Lord is recording everything. It says, to them, a show of godliness is just a way to become wealthy. And that's what a lot of people think. They think just because you can become wealthy or rich or famous in a society that you're that you blessed. Blessed by who? You had that singer YK Osiris said that people think that you blessed, man. We not blessed, man. Because all the things they getting is coming from the devil, is coming from Satan. It says, yet true godliness with contentment is itself great wealth. After all, we brought nothing with us when we came into this world, and we can't take anything with us when we leave it. So if we have enough food and clothing, let us be content. Yeah, you don't need 1,000 outfits. Okay, you don't need 1,000 pairs of shoes. You don't need 30 cars. Okay, that's being covetous. All right, and that's what happens when you chasing that limelight. You gotta have 6 houses, mansions. Like, that's crazy. You gotta have what Lil Wayne said. I got 10 bathrooms. I can shit all day, nigga. You don't, bro. No. You gonna have to shit all day after they done. You know, doing what we find that they doing to you. Okay. And this whole music industry shit is a sham, because you got this guy Young Thug who got caught up, you know, talking on them jail phones, and what happened? He exposed how he got Gunna a #1, you know, tape or record or whatever by paying for his, you know, his listeners, man. So that goes to show you too, it ain't about talent, man. It's about, you know, how connected you are and how low you will go. You know, that's even at these jobs. I've seen that on these videos. Somebody said, hey, it even happens at these 9-to-5 jobs. Jake at my job, Northern Kingdom, they be joking about, you know, people that go in there looking for a raise, and they'll tell them, hey, bro, you know, you got to get on your knees. And it's like, wow, this is this place is wicked. Okay, and it's not, in this case, it's not literal, but really you got to kiss some ass, man. Okay, and the higher you go, the more ass you got to kiss. It says, but people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many foolish and harmful desires. Yeah, you want, you know, the finer things in life, you end up getting trapped by that, man. You know, you start, you know, signing these contracts. I always bring it out. Hey, when I started getting serious with the music thing, I started getting actual contracts getting sent to me, you know, for different things, distribution deals, different stuff like that, man. You know, to help, you know, basically, you know, establish you as an artist. Okay. And I seen little weird shit when I was making music, bro. And I was like, what the fuck is going on with this? But this is one of them. I'll tell you another one too. But I'll tell you the other one first. So one time I had dropped a song, and it was a guy that hit me up and was like, yo, man, this song, or something like that. He liked the song, and then he said he said, yeah, I got you. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share the song or whatever. I'm gonna share the song. And I guess he shared the song, and the song started going crazy, doing crazy numbers. It was like, damn, what the hell is this? But certain people, they're juiced into that algorithm, and they'll do shit like that to make you, you know, pretty much get on board with what they want to do. Pretty much they can turn on and off your career. All right, for lack of better words. All right. I forgot what the other one was I was gonna say. You know, but these are just my own experiences. I can't imagine what these other people are experiencing. I can't imagine what, you know, this is over 10 years ago. I can't imagine what's going on now with all the tranny stuff and, you know, that stuff going on. It says, trapped by many foolish and harmful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. You love that money enough, what kind of evil would you do for it? You know? What you gonna do for it? Something strange for a piece of change. It says, and some people craving money have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. Yeah, because they love the money so much. They'll pierce themselves through many sorrows. And in this case, you actually getting pierced. Okay? It says, but you, Timothy, are a man of the Most High, so run from all these evil things, pursue righteousness and a godly life, along with faith, love, perseverance, and gentleness. Fight the good fight of faith. For the true faith, hold tightly to the eternal life which the Most High has called you, which you have confessed so well before many witnesses. And that's the thing. The Lord gonna give us eternal life. We're gonna get the finer things, but it's not gonna be on this side. It's gonna be in the kingdom. you know, and in righteousness. Okay, but a lot of people they don't want to wait. Jake is impatient. They lose patience. Remember, it says, woe unto you to have lost patience. Let's play some more something. Go to the next video. I'm so like, I ain't mean for to say something, but I kind of figured it would. So.
I said these niggas, they were telling me they wanted to book me a hotel and take me to their Korean barbecue. So I played the one, I'm like, all right, boom. Obviously, I see was one of these niggas that pulled on me. So I'm like, I tell him, I'm like, hey, bro, take me to your Korean barbecue, gang. I'm hungry. So he like, smooth. He like, you gonna stay a night? I'm just capping him down. I'm like, hell yeah. Just take me down to the barbecue. Whole time, whenever we get to the bottom of the hill, I'm just gonna beat feet on them folks there. You see what I'm saying? So on the way down, you know, I paid attention. On the way up, we went up like this. It was a spiral. We all, you know, we had to go around the mountain to go up and keep going up. Now on the way down, on the way down, this nigga took a right. I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm cooked. I'm like, these niggas asking to kill me, gang. All right. So I'm like, all right, I ain't got no blick. So you gotta think, I ain't got no blick. All I can do is fight. So I'm like, damn. So I'm cooked. So then, I tell the nigga, I'm like, hey, bro, take me to McDonald's. Once I see him bust the right, I'm like, take me to McDonald's. He like, it's on my mama, it's on my daughter, gang. That nigga face open up. His face changed, like, he like, we not finna take you to no fucking McDonald's. We flew you up here. My mama like, face open up and everything, gang, cause it was 3 Asian niggas, you see what I'm saying? His face open up. And my mama like, on some alien shit. I never seen no shit like that. And then, after that, he back in. This is how real God is. He was backing into somebody's driveway, smacked the mailbox, and he was in the 3-seater McLaren. You see what I'm saying? So after he smacked the mailbox, he get mad as hell. I ain't know how to get out the car. Let me remind you, I ain't know how to get out the car. I would have been beat feet on the nigga ass, but I ain't know how to get out the car. So I see him push a button and the door go up. So I push my button, door go up. I get up out of there. Get what? It's so real, God. It's so real. He sent a mailman. On my mama, he sent a mailman out of nowhere. It was no mail, but it was nothing going on. There was nobody on the street, gang. Mailman come out of nowhere. He get to check in the mailbox. I jump in the back of the mail van on my mama. Jump right in the back of the mail van on my mama.
All right, now in another video, he said how they admitted to doing demonic rituals. Okay. He said, you know, how y'all getting all this money? He said, we do demonic rituals. All right, and that's literally what they do. That's how they getting the money. They gotta, you know, do them demonic rituals, and a lot of them demonic rituals are, you know, part of them demonic rituals is gay stuff, man. Okay. Compromising your morals, your principles. Let's play this right here. Just the truth is.
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform, you have the power. Not IT, not admins. You're in charge. So you can tailor work exactly how you love to do it.
But you notice how he say they took him to a mountain. Of the upcoming rapper. All right, this is truth is. Fair use. You notice how he said they took him to a mountain, man. Okay. Now let's grab this real quick. This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 4. It says, but he answered and said, it is written, men, Salakia. Let's go to verse 1. It says, then was Yahawashi led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. So when Yahawashi, you know, was, you know, getting ready to take you know, his mission to the next level, he went into the wilderness, okay? And in doing that, he was tempted of the devil. Now listen to this, how this whole thing went, and tell me this don't sound like what this guy just went through. It says, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. So the Lord went up there and was tempting his flesh. He was trying to combat the flesh with the spirit. So he fasted. When you are fasting, you are afflicting your flesh. So, you know, when oftentimes when that happens, Satan, you know, try to attack you more, to stop you or whatever, or deter you. That's why when you fast, like the first day, a couple of hours or whatever, you get a headache, you know, you start feeling sick, you know? Those are demons trying to throw you off. It says, and when The tempter came to him. He said, if thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. So he was trying to get him to stop fasting. And that's why sometimes when you fasting, and brothers and sisters, you should know, sometimes you might have a dream, okay, of food, okay, or that you was eating or something. Or you might, you know, be extra hungry, or, you know, whatever, man. Those are the demons trying to get you to get off that fast so they can put you back in the flesh. Because right now you are in this, going into the spirit. All right, which the spirit and the flesh warred against each other. All right. It says, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of YAHAWASHI. You got people that think that just because they have the money, the riches, the fame, that they're going to eat forever. No, it ain't about just having the money, the riches, the fame, man. Man shall not live by bread alone. You can have all the money, but you could be sick. Or you can have all the food, but you could be sick where you no matter what you eat, you ain't getting better. Whatever. There's many different examples. All right. It says, then the devil taketh him into the holy city and setteth him on the pinnacle of the temple and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of the Most High, wait a minute. Yeah, if thou be the Son of the Most High, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yahawashi said and answered, like Yahawashi said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord Yahweh thy power. So you're not supposed to tempt the Most High, man. You got people that try to tempt the Lord. Don't do that. All right. But get to the point. It says again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And this is why when they took him to that mountain, they had the McLarens and everything out there. They were showing him that lifestyle, in case he was with it. And then they told him what you can, because he asked me, he said, what y'all doing to get this money?
Video of him exposing the industry, and then after, a lot of people heard about Lil Tony exposing the industry. A lot of people don't believe it. A lot of people do believe it.
Hold on.
Honestly, I think this man is telling the straight truth. What is he gaining by telling this lie? You feel me? So,
beautiful. The water.
Pull this up right quick. Here's a video of him exposing the industry. And then after I show y'all this video, I'm gonna show y'all it's a true story. I'm gonna show y'all the original clip of the story.
So he gonna show you the guys that he was with.
This is the story time he was just telling us about the McLaren, the Asian dudes, and bro, just watch, bro. Really peep everything in this and just listen, bro, and watch. It's hard to hear because of the wind, but peep everything, bro.
All right, so it says an Ace of Hearts vlog. So I guess this was the day that he was talking about. You see the McLarens, they up on the mountain. It's Asian dudes, okay? Which when they start putting faces to it, that's when people start getting, taken out, man. So hey, I won't be surprised. The Lord, take this guy, Lil Tony out, or have it where they take him out, and that's if he don't come to the truth, man. Okay, because Jesus ain't coming to save nobody. You all right? You gonna have to come under the spirit and the protection of YAHAWASHI. Okay, this is how we able to speak on things like this and not be touched, because we have come into the true power. You can't straddle the fence with the Lord, man. But it says, as Brandon finishes up, it says, Matthew chapter 4, verse 8, again, the devil taketh him up to an exceeding high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. So what they do, they take him to the, Hollywood Hills. They showing them the McLarens, the yada yada. They got the jewelry, all that, right? And they're trying to seduce you to denounce YAHAWASHI and come and serve Satan. Okay? That's why they said Leonardo DiCaprio, gotta, he'll do the initiations, because it's a whole system, a whole program set up. You had a video came out not so long ago about these YouTubers that were talking about how they had to go to these rituals and stuff, man. It's all a part of the program. All right. It says, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. So Satan was showing the Most High, Yahawashi, basically, what will come with bowing down and worshiping Satan. It says, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. So Satan says he'll give you all these things. He'll give you your heart's desires on this side if you fall down and worship him. Okay, and then when these individuals sell out, that's what they ultimately end up doing. They fall down and worship Satan. And worshiping Satan means doing demonic rituals, doing gay stuff for some pay. Okay, all that stuff is all a part of it. It says, then saith Yahawashi unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leadeth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. And the scripture says, flee, resist the devil, he shall flee from thee. So yeah, you're going to have these temptations, man, where Satan going to try to tempt you. And you got to remember the spirit of Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi and resist the devil, and he shall flee from thee. Okay? But it's easier said than done. Okay? Because them temptations come, and eventually, if you're not spiritually strong, you're gonna be taken by him. All right? Like this right here. Now look at this. Imagine you up there with these guys, and Jake, hey, bro, your average Jake, if they was even anywhere near a McLaren and somebody talking to McLaren, Jake already started glazing, bro. He, Look at this nigga, man. Look at this. Look at this. Now, remember what he said about what he had to do to get all that. They had this guy telling the story, and they end up pulling up the footage. He talking about it was 3 Asian dudes and a McLaren, and they had all this money. Have you ever heard a song from this nigga? Have you ever seen this nigga in a movie or something? How you get this money? How you get all this jewelry? That's why he asked him that. How y'all getting all this money? And he told him flat out, we do demonic rituals. They do satanic rituals. This is everything. This is a spiritual world. Everything happens in the spiritual before it happens in the physical. This nigga flossing it on the camera.
Off rip, we 25 seconds into the video, he says, we at the top of the hill. I'm thinking Yanni is about to kill me out of this bed.
Wow.
He already felt it in his bones. The sun was up. He already knew, bruh.
Look, 18 baby L. That's the other nigga page.
What we're about to watch was before they tried to take him down the hill, and before they opened up his face to him.
Hey,
before, you know what I'm saying, all that went down.
Hey, and to open up the face part, it ain't because the nigga venom, bro. It's because the nigga got they doing demonic rituals, man. They got spirits on them. All right, but the brother Alwan, he did a video on this as well, and he was telling me how I guess he ended up finding one of these guys' page. I'm not gonna do it for the second time, but he ended up finding one of these guys' page, and he said how they was responding on this guy's videos concerning this, dropping emojis, encrypted messages and stuff. And he might try to take this guy out, man. All right.
This was all before it happened. This was the photo shoot part.
What's going on, man? Look at me, man. Bro. Oh, yeah, you don't know. I come from fucking nothing. Look at me, man. Look at this shit. What the hell?
That's how they get you.
I come from nothing, man. See shit like this. it ain't really nothing. It really ain't shit. Get this shit on camera. Hold on. I ain't gonna fake this shit gonna blow up on TikTok. Nigga got me on the top of the fucking mountain. So hard. Oh shit. God, you see what I'm finna throw up. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy as fuck, man. Oh, man. I thought these niggas had some kid. I was like, damn. God, this bitch.
Bro, he already, bruh.
He can sense the vibration. Hey, Jake,
no.
no.
He was
Hey,
already.
You can feel the vibrations, man. You can feel the spirit. You know when something ain't right, something is off. You're around some rich ass Asians. You don't know who these guys is, and he said how what they do is they basically just take pictures with famous people, and basically they ain't do nothing for the fame but some satanic shit, and they done got blessed by the devil, and now they just walk around and they living like the rapper lifestyle without even having to rap. You know? I remember when I was making music, I came to that understanding that in order to, and this is what all these rappers do, ASAP Rocky, all those guys, this is why they got pictures of them standing in pentagrams and shit before they blew up. Niggas had a real deal go over to Satan in order to, to become something in this world. Like I said earlier, that's why you have one-hit wonders, okay? You got one-hit wonders, all right? Let me see the... Shalom to everybody tuning in. Shalom, Aki Yahawadah, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, Barakatah. It's GMS in his likeness. Hey, brother. Long time no see, man. It's good to see you. It says, Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. Right, and that's what happens with our people. They end up, choosing that money, That's and you even see him in this video. This is before all this happened, I guess. And they watching him and they gauging him. They're like, okay, yeah, you like that? You like that? Okay. What about this? What about that? So they flossing, they showing off everything they got to try to seduce you to come into that world. Okay, to stop serving God and start serving the devil. And this nigga, little Tony, looked demonic. I ain't gonna hold you. He looked like he got spirits on him too, but he must didn't have enough spirits where he fell for that. To fall for some wicked shit like that and do something gay for some paper, you got demons on you, man. And that's what these guys end up doing. They did it. They said Leonardo da Vinci, DiCaprio initiated them man, and now this is the life they living for this time, little bit of time they got left on this place before the Lord consumed them. And there's many guys like this in that world. This is why the Spirit came in when I was making music, and it said you need to understand what world you putting yourself into. And when I found out, I said, oh hell nah. Oh nah, I stopped making music cold turkey. That was a career for me for many years, and when I realized what it was about and I understood what was really going on, it wasn't anymore. Okay? That was it on that.
Feeling it, like something was kind of off. He had that backdoor feeling. They was giving hella backdoor energy, bro.
You around a bunch of heathens, bro.
Shoot me and throw y'all. Man, he hold on. Bro, you know where I can buy these bitches, twin? You know throw y'all. Man, he hold on. You know where I can buy these bitches, twin? You know. I don't do shit like that. That's how we feel. Let me give them some.
They trying to give him hella free stuff. They trying to like feed him like.
Hey, that's hilarious. I don't think I actually seen this whole video like this.
Stuff them and eat them.
And I ain't gonna make this too much longer. So like, yeah, I'm just flowing in the spirit, man. Hey, Jake. But this is crazy, bro. First of all, he gave him pants. Why are you giving this man pants? And I guess they're gonna do a shoot or whatever. But now he got a change on the side of a mountain and shit. And then he tried to give it to him for free. And he said, hey, nah, bro. Where I'm from, we pay for everything. Because when people just giving you shit, that's basically a bribe. Scripture says a gift destroyeth the heart. When you just taking gifts and shit, motherfucker, motherfucker don't give you a gift genuinely, And there's the analogy, like if you go to prison, it's real. But you heard about you go to prison, the motherfucker offer you a candy bar or something, or they'll put like something on your bed, some soap or something. They doing that for something in return, okay? they want to bust your backside open in the shower later. So they saying, here, I'm gonna give you this, and you thinking this person just being a good person, and nah, this nigga wants something in return, man. Okay. So the same thing with these with these people in power. They're not gonna give you no record deal or no money just to give it to you. Okay, they got their own sick mind state and fetishes that they like and shit. And you know, if you going, they're gonna take you. But I ain't never really paid attention to this one yet, man. I think I might, you know, this is important that I played this, man, because hey, this right here shows you exactly what he was talking about. You got to put yourself in that moment. You know, you there. Nigga got $100,000 on his neck. You barely got $10 in your account. It's gonna be rough to say. It's gonna be hard to say no. And a lot of guys, they don't say no. This is why they end up, you know, doing the gay shit for some pape, and niggas be on top of the world. But really, you know, closer to the nukes. Okay, if you want to put it like that. But you heard how he keeps saying they gonna kidnap me, they gonna kill me, they gonna, cause what? Jake is spiritual, man. Jake is spiritual. You can feel the vibrations. You can tell when something's not right. You can tell when somebody's not right. You can tell when their spirit, when their intentions is off. All right.
Bro, he already, bruh.
You don't know them niggas.
He already had that discernment.
I keep calling them niggas, but he don't know them dudes, man. And they trying to give you. He said, "Nah, where I'm from, we pay for everything." Because what happened when a gift destroys the heart? Somebody give you something like that, just people just giving you stuff, they want something back, man. All right? They expect something back. You know, that's why you got to be mindful of, you know, people that's just giving you stuff. Somebody just giving you stuff, you got to ask yourself, why they doing all this? And it's horrible that you got to think like that, but that's just the way it is. Just the way it is. That's why, you know, you don't want to get too easily flattered. You know, people try to flatter you so they can, you know, get, you know, on the other side of your defenses, you know, to get something from you.
He was already feeling it, like something was kind of off. He had that backdoor feeling. They was giving hella backdoor energy, bro.
I was like, you guys can shoot me and throw me off.
Many hold on, bro.
You know where I can buy these bitches, twin? You can throw me off. Many hold on. You know where I can buy these bitches, twin? You know. I don't do shit like that. That's how it's going to let me give them some.
They trying to give him hella free stuff. They trying to like feed him, like boost him up, boost his head, and feed him like he's a pig. Like they're getting ready to stuff him and eat him.
Stuff him and eat him. And that's what the cops do. When the cops got you into the interrogation, hey, you need anything? They act all nice and cool, and you need anything, buddy? Hey, they'll buy you some food or whatever, but you know, but all that is a show to get you to confess or incriminate yourself or somebody else, to give somebody a life sentence or you know, a bunch of years, man, off their life, you know. And that individual, that detective or whoever, they're just doing that for their job. That's just how they get paid. That's how they get their Christmas bonus. Okay? So don't be so naive to think just somebody giving you a gift and they care about you. And that also is a part of witchcraft too. Somebody will, you know, put spirits on something, they'll give it to you for a gift, and now you done take it into your house, and now you got demons running around the house at 3 o'clock in the morning. Door slamming, so you're trying to figure out what's going on, because you can't take everything from everybody. Okay? Sure, but talk about bid them, not Godspeed, man. Let me see if I can grab that. All right. Let's play some more. I'll find it. Slovakia. And now he's making, you know, different kind of music, so that's good, you know. It must have scared him straight.
It's free stuff, but he's such a real YN. He's talking about, nah, like, we don't take hella free stuff like that. You know, and something in the back of his head, he just knew something was off and weird. They trying to give him all this free stuff. He's like, nah, let me pay for it. Let me pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, nothing ain't free for real. Like, he just knew.
Right, ain't nothing free
That's
for
God putting it in his soul. Something was off about these dudes, bro.
Hey, and that's divine intervention, man. You know, the Lord will keep you from stuff like that, man. Okay, let's play it. Let me read this real quick though. It says 2 John chapter 1 verse 10. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, when I was talking about that doctrine earlier, you ain't coming in the right spirit. It says, and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. Right? You can't allow people to come in your house who ain't in the right spirit, ain't in the right doctrine, don't believe in the truth. That brought me back to a dream I had years ago, at least over 5 years ago. And I was it was like something was going on. Basically, I was at my house, and all my family came over to my house to, like, I think around that time it was a hurricane coming, so I guess it was a storm or something coming, and people came to my house, you know, to avoid the storm or whatever. All my family and stuff. You know, I think it was like the end of the world type shit. And basically, what happened was, in the dream, we all was like hiding out in the house, and then everybody went and started praising. You know, as it got bad, everybody went and started calling upon their different gods. You know, these are my family members that my grandma, my uncles and cousins and stuff. But they all start, you know, when they felt like we was about to die, they all went to calling upon different gods in my house. Okay, and this is a dream, obviously. But you know, somebody over here praying to Jesus, somebody over here praying to Allah, somebody over here praying to whatever. I'm like, what the hell? So y'all looking around like, hey, what the hell? Everybody here praying to different gods. Y'all got to get out. And I kicked them out in the dream. You know, and that was a sign for me to get rid of, you know, family. Because family ain't family if you ain't coming in the right doctrine. Okay, if you ain't coming in the right spirit. It says, in NLT, if anyone comes to your meeting and does not teach the truth about Yahawashi Mashiach, don't invite that person into your home or any kind of give any kind of encouragement, right? Because you teaching false doctrine. Okay, really, you're supposed to rebuke that person, man. If they ain't coming in the right spirit, you got to rebuke them, not entreat them. Anyone who encourages such people becomes a partner in their evil work, right? If you co-sign what they doing, then you become a partner in their evil work. You a co-defendant. It says, I have much more to say to you, but I don't want to do it with paper. Oh, that's the point. All right, let's play some more.
They almost got him.
Bro, he said this in his video. And when I heard this story, I imagined it was at nighttime. You know, I imagined it was at nighttime, and maybe that was just me thinking that, you know, motherfucker when try to do that in the middle of broad daylight, but they're doing it in broad daylight. You know, they was finna take him to one of them Diddy parties, you know, them all white parties, turn them out, drug them up, and they got another one, and then that's probably all their job is. This is why they want to do a photo shoot with him. They booked them $10K for a photo shoot. They give you $10,000 to take some pictures with them. Nigga, it ain't about the pictures. They trying to get you over there so they can, you know, pollute you, okay, and send you to the devil, okay? Their whole job is probably to just try to influence other individuals to sell, you know, to pretty much sell out and, you know, cash your morals to the side, all right? Look how corny that dude was, man. Look how corny this dude was. See, and you know what's crazy is that Jake never had shit, bro. Jake never had shit. Jake, you know, whatever, right? But these other nations, they want to be Jake. Look at this dude. These motherfuckers want to be Jake. Look at him. The chains, the way he dressing, the way he talking, the way they act. They want to be Jake. Everybody want to be Jake. Like what's that? Paul Mooney said, everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. You know, everybody wants the how you say it, the good things that come with being Jake, but they don't want, you know, the hate and the heat that come with being Jake too. You know. But this guy right here, you know, just look at him. Just watch how they move and how they acting. They ain't got no type of talent or, you know, none of that. It ain't about talent. It's about how low will you go? What would you do for a Kleindock bar? Okay, what would you do for a Kleindock bar? That commercial right there in itself tells you how wicked this fucking place is. They asking you, what would you do for an ice cream bar, man? You got people to do anything for an ice cream bar, for a Kleindock bar. How much more for, you know, an opportunity like that where you can ride a McLaren's, you know, and whatnot, man. It takes some integrity to deny that stuff, okay? It takes a certain level of integrity and, morals and, and a backbone to say, nah, I'm not letting you bend me over for a fucking McLaren, is you stupid? But not a lot of people will do that, you know, or can do that. It's not in their DNA. You seen that, man? That nigga on the bape jacket. They're just trying to emulate something that they're not. They really want to be Jake, but they're not Jake. So what they do? They go flying Jake out for 10K to take pictures with them so they can live that lifestyle and act like they Jake. You know? And then their job is to, to bring more Jakes into Satan's lair. All right? That's all it is, man. He didn't know how to get out of the car.
Y'all niggas see my pants, man. Y'all niggas see my pants, man. I had to come out LA to come get these bitches, man. I'm real, man. Come on, man. I didn't see how I'm coming. I'm living life.
I'm living life.
LAX. That's it, what?
That's the McLaren he was just talking about in that interview where he was talking about how he was exposing them. That's the McLaren he was just talking about.
You had people that was saying he was lying. You had people that was saying he was lying. He was making it up. It wasn't true. You know what I'm saying? People thought he just came on the internet to lie. He just came on there just to tell us, risking your fucking life and freedom. Because they gonna probably try to kill him for this, man. Risking your life and freedom, and you just gonna go in there to lie. Come on, People actually thought that's actually how bugged out people are, bro. They don't know what's going on. They don't understand it. They don't understand the plot. Okay? They were saying, oh no, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You don't want to believe it. I put a video the other day about a little baby. This nigga, I guess he was, the whole wearing the shorts and shit and thigh tattoos, and somebody was like, it's AI. It was a post, I think. He's like, it's AI. And I ain't even say nothing to the dude. But I'm thinking in my head, you want it to be AI. You want it to be fake. You want it to be, which, because, AI too, but the picture was real. This nigga was really in shorts. So, but Jake wanted to be that because they have made gods of these things, man. Made gods of these people, And that brings you further away from YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI.
How his character is in that interview and how he was like here a year ago such a different person, bro. Like, after he's seen all that and went through all that, he's such a different person from a year ago in this video to what we just seen, which was posted 9 days ago.
They seen how amused he was, and they said, "Yeah, he ready. It's ripe." You know, because they trying to butter you up the whole time. You know, it's like a man whenever he meet a woman. You know, he want to spend a little money on her, show her. You know, it's like some pimp hoe shit, man. You know, they make you feel comfortable, and next thing you know, they come in there and they start violating your ass. You know, that's the reality. That's what's going on. When you turn on the TV, when you look at, that's how you gotta look at shit, bro. Like the movie They Live. When that movie They Live, when he put them shades on and he was seeing life for what it really was. That's how you gotta look at this place. Because when you do it like that, it's gonna make you see through the bullshit. And there is a lot of bullshit. All right, this is like a music video, a Wiz Khalifa music video or something, man. Okay, and now you seeing. Imagine it's been a Wiz Khalifa video. Now you seeing what would have been going on behind the scenes. You know, what the environment really would have been like. Yeah, you see the hills and the sunny and you know, the nice but they ain't gonna tell you about the, you know, the stuff that's going on under the radar, okay? And it's not just him, it's all of them. They all go through it. And it's about who's willing to go, who's willing to get through it, that go through it. And that's the ones you see on your TV screens, on your radios, okay? Oh yeah, let me say this too. Salaki, I keep interrupting it. I'm Salaki for that. But he also said how in the previous video he was saying how you get popped in the rectum and you get AIDS, okay? All these individuals got STDs and stuff, man. They all got STDs because they're all, you know, that's like that's a part of the ritual. So they got to pop each other and stuff. And then he said you get AIDS, and so you might be down out of commission for a little minute, and when you come back, you're gonna be a billionaire, you know, or it's like a millionaire. It was they show that in some of these movies, you know. Somebody will do something, right? They'll do something, okay, for, you know, some. I mean, I can't explain it really, but it's like these movies. They got particular movies out there. They'll show you how you got somebody, or even, okay, I'll give you the greatest example: Squid Games. Look at that movie Squid Games, right? They took you to a remote island, had you killing a bunch of people, and then as you killed them, what happened when he won the competition? He woke up back in the regular world. He went to his account, and his account was flooded with money. That's what they do. You do these rituals, you wake up the next day and your account is full of money. You don't do the rituals, you wake up the next day and you got less money in your account than you had in your account. Now your account is in triple negative. Okay? You got to play ball. None of this was by hard work. They tell you to go to college, they tell you to do this, do that, and then you're going to get all this, and you're going to get hard. None of this was by hard work. They didn't get any of this by their talent, by hard work, by, you know, none of that. They got it by, you know, being a low life, okay? Because I don't care how you want to fancy it. If you bow down and worship Satan and do some gay shit for some pape, you are a low life. You have no integrity. You are the scum of the earth. And that's why the Lord comes back. He going to melt niggas. All right? He going to melt these people, man. What? Live it up. You have gained your constellation. You know, you can bet those clothes still smell new. It's all peach. It's all good until the nukes come, man. All right? Yeah, they all acting so cool. They don't know each other.
He said this bit like an alien. Bro, he's just saying so much foreshadowing, bro.
trying to buy a car. You know what's crazy? It's crazy you said, because I was just trying to buy me a home. You got the Aston Martin DBX. Yes. The DBX Aston Martin SUV. That's real good. Oh, thank you.
That boy said, thank you, Yahuwah. Thank you, Jesus Christ. He's thanking God, bro. That's when God started giving him more discernment, bro. God,
Hey,
really
Jake.
helped him lock in here, bro.
Jake trying to get with the spirit too. I had somebody tell me that the other day. It was one of my demon friends. Like, Yahuwah's with you or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? But they don't know. But the Lord's name is Yahawah. His son's name is YAHAWASHI. Okay, you're gonna have to call upon the names if you want to be saved and delivered in the times you're coming into. And you see, Jake is naturally spiritual. Jake is naturally righteous, man. Okay, I brought that out earlier. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth him. Okay, so Jake is naturally right. He praying and stuff. Whole time they thinking about taking him to get his butt took so he can sell his soul to Satan, so he can be a vessel for Satan. And he thinking that they just done doing business. It's about my talent. No, it ain't about that. It's about Satan's army. All right, they want you to pollute the minds of more people so that they can have them too.
Yo, that's crazy. First of all, hold on. They just admire this shit, bro. Look at these houses on a fucking hill, man.
What I told you, bro, we just read it. When Satan took Yahawashi up unto the high mountaintop, right? Why you think he did that? It was to get him to, ooh and ah. That's why you can't be too easily wowed, bro. You can't be too easy. Like, no, you don't want to be it because as soon as your mouth open, so like you gotta have some fun with this. You gotta have some fun with this, but that's the reality. That's the reality. It's sick. It's messed up. But that's what go on.
Whoever live out here, bro, it's small. It's really just made.
This was filmed a year ago, bro. Keep that in mind. Like,
whoever house up there is hard. It's not. They Satanists. They devil worshippers. They're vampires. They in there drinking a glass of adrenochrome right now. We know this, man. And you know this, man. Okay? Trooper says we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Let's grab that real quick. All right? And Slacky, I've been slacking with my, I got a lot of videos that I got to, I want to do these little, haven't got a chance to. I've been busy lately, but through the spirit, I can, really lock in and bring these out. And, it's all through the spirit, it's just edification, for edification's sake. So just forgive me if, I ramble a little bit too much. I'm just trying to make these points and align them up with precepts so that I can paint a vivid picture for those whoever's meant to get it. Whoever's meant to get it, man. Because it ain't for everybody. We know that for sure. A lot of people are not going to make it. They're going to be lost. And a nigga will see this and still try to go pursue being or whatever, right? End up being destroyed. It says 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11 in the NLT. So that Satan will now outsmart us. And that's what Satan is trying to do. He's trying to constantly outsmart us. That's what they're trying to do to him. They're trying to outsmart him. That's why they got him like that, woo, and mouth wide open. They just pulling up with more and more shit. Here go some clothes. Look at my jewelry. Here go a chain. Here go a McLaren. Here go Aston Martin. You know what I'm saying? They just like, and if you simple, you gonna fall for that stuff. Oh my God, your mouth open. Next, you on the black casting couch. All right.
You want to go 10 times harder, like.
So 9 days ago, he just, my father keep pausing it. He just came out a few weeks ago, telling everybody what happened a year ago.
My fans, everybody who watching the video right now, bro, this shit just made me want to go so much harder.
It ain't about how hard you gonna go. That's the thing. Jake get it confused. It ain't about how hard you gonna go. It's about how hard they want to go. All right. Jake get it twisted. That was a mistake that I made, thinking that if I go and I yeah, bro, yeah, you be thinking that, if I get in this thing and I really give it my all, if I really, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there. I thought that I was so naive. What the scripture say? Thought as a child, childish things away. Let's grab that, man. All right. It says, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I thought as a child. And when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. Yeah, it's a childish thing to think that in this world that's being ruled by Satan right now, that if you work hard, you're going to be successful. Even at your job, if people think, if I go in this job and if I bust my ass, I'm going to be a manager. No, you're going to be doing the manager's job for a fucking employee's pay. Okay? People will take advantage of you. All right? It says, I thought, and when you go into these jobs, that's how you get ahead. I work. He done moved now. I don't know if the nigga work. I ain't seen him in a couple of days. But I work with a guy. He used to work right next to me. This guy is a Freemason. Okay? He's a Freemason. He writes Freemason on all his tools. All right? But Jake will sell out and become a Freemason to get extra amenities and, to live a so-called better life on the side. You know what's crazy? He's a Freemason, and this nigga, the truck the truck that I want, this motherfucker done went and got it. If I want that truck, I gotta go sell out. Fuck that truck. Okay? It ain't worth it. But people who are not, rooted in the spirit of a higher power, what they gonna do? They gonna do whatever they can. They gonna sell out however they got to, whatever they gotta do to get the things that they want and desire. So when you become a man, you got to put away them childish thoughts, those childish things. Okay? It's like a little girl trying to be a Disney princess. That's what? And when you was young, you thought you was going to be the next Kobe Bryant. What? It says, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. And this is the time that where we in, Jake. Hey, it's time to become men and put away childish things. All right? In the NOT, it says, when I was a child, I spake and thought and responded as a child. And that's what he's doing in this video. He's responding as a child. And then when you watch that interview, that Bryce Crawford interview, like I want to grab some of it, but I'm probably not going to be able to for the sake of time. But go watch. Let's just say, I advise everybody to go watch that interview that he had where he gave his testimony with that Edomite Bryce, which that guy been going around to the Hebrew Israelite camps or whatever. But go watch the interview. I mean, he said a lot of stuff, man. When you hear this guy's story, it's like, okay, you could tell the Lord been moving in there somewhere, But when I grew up, I put away childish things, and this is what time we in, man. Scripture says now it's time to wake out of sleep. You ain't finna be, on top of the world here in America, unless you're gonna be a bottom, somewhere else. All right, we gonna tell it to you flat. That's what it is. Remember the movie Training Day, right? Training Day with Denzel. He was training that guy to be a cop or a detective or whatever, and he's like, "This can't be what it's like. This can't." He said, "It is. It is like this. This is what it is." Roughly paraphrasing how the scene went, but that's basically that. Yeah. Okay. Man, I thought the same shit, brother. I thought I was gonna have a house like a castle. And you know what happened? When I came to the conclusion, let me grab that too real quick. Moses. I believe that's in I know it's in Hebrews. Let me see. Bear with me 1 second. I want to grab this real quick because, you know, that's how it be. You think that you're going to get this, you're going to have that, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to be successful, you're going to have a house. Nah. Hell no. I vividly remember the moment when I had to come to in my mind that I'm going back to the hood. Okay? I'm going back to a job because I decided not to do nothing strange for a piece of change. It ain't, you know, in my mind, it ain't worth it, man. You know, you could never talk to me into doing no gay shit or no weird shit for any kind of money. You stupid. I might punch on your ass, man. And that's what, you know, Terrence Crawford was going into, not Terrence Crawford, Terrence Howard was going into. Okay, being a man. The most important thing about being a man is being a man. The most I created you a man, be a man. You see people that go to these prisons and they go in there and they get violated and they become a woman. You know, they become an actual, you know, a actual bee. You know, it's like you become another woman unto another man. That's wickedness, bro. The Lord didn't create us for that. That's what Diddy was to Clyde Davis. That's what, you know, I can go on and on. I ain't gonna name all these motherfuckers and they masters, but you get the picture. Okay. Choosing, let me see, this is lucky. 1 second, bear with me. I want to play it, but I want to watch it too. Let me just find this precept real quick. I know it's in Moses. I know it's in Hebrews. Let's see. Hebrews. All right. This is no, we're getting closer. 1 second. All right. Here we go. This is Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 23. It says, and by faith Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months from his parents because they saw he was a proper child and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. So Moses was in one of the highest seats, you know, especially for an Israelite, you know, to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. That's like being called the president's daughter's son. Okay. Not even. It's really more, because the Pharaoh was on a whole nother level than the president. All right. So can you imagine that? And all the things that came with that. But what did Moses do? It says he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy pleasures of sin for a season. And this is what these guys are doing. You see the McLaren, the Corvette, yeah, they're enjoying pleasures of sin for a season. But Moses, in his integrity and his righteousness, he decided to what? Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High God. He said, I'd rather suffer my people. And I remember when I came to this conclusion, when I was making music, that it was either sell out or go back to being broke. And you know what? Well, I mean, I guess I don't have to tell you what choice I made. Okay. It says, then to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. So it's better to just suffer it out, you know, for the time we got to suffer it out here, do the work in YAHAWASHI, because we're going to glory and we're going to bask in our kingdom. Okay. Then have some temporary kingdom here where you can't even, you know, you hear these stories about these guys, you know, that, you know, they backside falling out, man. Okay. It's crazy, but this is the reality, bro. This is what's really going on. This is why, you know, the Spirit had me do this video tonight, because, hey, after dark, hey, after dark, this is, you know, this is why this ain't for kids. It's time to grow up. It's time to get out of that fairy tale bullshit. This place is wicked. Okay, Scripture says, save yourselves from this untoward generation. This place is through. Okay? That was the point of that. It says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. You see? Esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invincible. He endured as seeing him who is invisible. Right. So you got to have your mind on the Most High, Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi. And if somebody ever, come to you and make a request like this, you supposed to think about the Most High watching me. The Most High can see this. That's the point of that. Let's play some more. Great close out. What?
Hello foreshadowing, bro. He didn't even know that a mailman was finna help him. So
you know what the fuck had to happen for him to go to that, to running and jumping in the back of a mail truck and saying, "Can you get me out of here? Can you get me out of here? Get the fuck out of there." He got scared straight, man. And I've heard situations like this too, man, where you go up there thinking that, these people are, genuine people. You find out they complete demons. You see a motherfucker face open up. And like I said, that's because they dealing with spirits, man. Them spirits get agitated, When them spirits can't get you, they get agitated. And that's what happened when he said no. They said, can you imagine? You gotta imagine what the story he told you, and look at this setting right here. This is where it happened at.
Hello foreshadowing, bro. He didn't even know that a mailman was finna help him. Not help him, but like he was finna escape through a mailman. He didn't know that, bro. And he's talking about a mailman. And then God sent him a mailman to help him get up out of there, bro. That's crazy work. That's
because he probably looking at the mailman. So
he talking about a mailman.
I'm fucking with y'all boys that. On my mama, every time I come out here, I come fuck with y'all. Let me know, bro.
I'm talking about a mailman before he used the mailman to escape. That's crazy work, bro.
If you don't hit me back, I'm not fucking with you no more. I'm gonna let you. Hey, bro, I'm gonna hit you like twin. Hey, bro. I'm out here.
Twin. Look, Scripture says prove a friend first. And I never, ever don't call somebody else my motherfucking twin. All right? But Scripture says prove a friend first. You don't know these people. You call them twin. Which I understand that's the lingo, depending on where you at. But, it ain't even friend. It's twin now. Now you my twin brother. We came out the same. Nah, man. You don't know this dude. Scripture says prove a friend first. Every time I come out, I'm going to come out with you. And what happened? You end up running up out of the... hoping to never see them again. Okay?
Oh, we locked in. That shit can't be real. That's real, bro. You niggas serious?
I'm not gonna lie. I think they showed him videos of celebrities getting that DTA. I'm not gonna lie. I think they showed him some really messed up stuff, like some Illuminati stuff. And he had to start playing it cool after this, bro. You can just feel the energy, bro. They tried to peep his reaction to see how he was gonna react and act.
They gave you the
after seeing, the truth. I'm getting hella backdoor vibes from these guys.
You niggas serious? Yeah, that's how we move over here.
Shit got hella awkward.
That's we move over here. Look at this. Because that's what must have asked him. How y'all getting this money? How y'all getting this money? Okay? Jake will ask you that, bro. Jake tell you, hey, man, how y'all getting this money? And they'll be willing to do it. How? What are you doing to get that money? And you find out these niggas doing some weird shit, man. It ain't worth the money. Look at that. He says, that can't be real. That's real, bro? Serious? That what?
You can just feel the energy, bro. They tried to peep his reaction, see how he was gonna react and act after seeing, like, you know, the truth. I'm getting hella backdoor vibes from these guys.
You niggas serious? Yeah. That's how we move over here.
Shit got hella awkward.
Look
boy.
at him. Look at him. Took all, hey, boy. He took all the dip off his chip, boy. Wow. And that's how it was to me. That's when I came. I said, yeah, what? What? I think it was off of, it was a dude off of Friday after next. Day Dad. I forgot, you know, I don't know his name. The character name of his character. But I believe it was him who said it. He said, in order to make it in this industry, you got to be a fuck nigga. You got to be a complete punk, bitch, lame. Excuse my language, but I got. Hey, we Jake. You know what I'm talking about, bro. Okay. And this is what it's about. They sit here showing him, and you look at his whole mannerisms changed from that from here to there. All this video, okay, all this video, he was stoked. He was wow. And whatever they show him right there, look, nigga, yeah, this how we getting this money. That can't be real. He thinking it's AI. When I told you to come, it's gotta be AI. All right. Truth is stranger than fiction.
Showed him videos of celebrities getting that DTA, that, I'm not gonna lie, I think they showed him some really messed up stuff, like some Illuminati stuff. And he had to start playing it cool after this, bro. You can just feel the energy, bro.
Yeah, he started feeling weird.
They tried to peep his reaction and see how he was gonna.
That's when you start realizing why they brought this McLaren out here. Oh, that's why y'all brought this McLaren out here. That's why he said, yeah. I started to see what kind of way they were trying to play on me. It's all coming. It's all coming together. All right. Hey, Hollywood will turn you out, man. All right, that's another thing. Look at the little baby. Hollywood, Esau, the riches, the money, the fame, all that stuff will turn you out and have you become somebody you don't even know who you are anymore, man. You had that guy, what's that nigga name? That gay ass nigga, Lil Nas X. This guy done, you know, twerking on Satan in this video. He was the gayest nigga in the world for how you know, and now this nigga getting arrested, walking on the street in diapers and stuff, and you know, then that guy Boy Max, he was saying how, you know, they was trying to get him to walk down the street in you know, drawers or whatever, his diapers or whatever. And these are all a part of these rituals. You think these motherfuckers just spazzing out when crazy? No, they trying to stay relevant. They're trying to stay in the limelight. They're trying to keep that money. Okay? Because you can't, it's not just you make one, you know, offering to Satan. No, he gonna keep coming back. You're gonna have to keep having to pay the devil, and he gonna keep coming to collect. Okay?
After seeing, like, you know, the truth, I'm getting hella backdoor vibes from these guys.
You niggas serious? Yeah, that's how we move over here.
You niggas
Shit
serious?
got hella awkward, boy.
That happened to me.
That's real. That shit can't be real. That's real, bro. Yeah, niggas serious?
The vibes and energy shifted right after.
You niggas serious? That was my reaction when I found out what the hell was going on when I was making music, bro. I said, you niggas serious? Y'all niggas can't be free. And hey, you know, call HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. The water YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, for protecting us and keeping us from this wicked world. You know? A lot of people that, you know, they get taken by this stuff, man. All right, and it ain't no coming back.
You niggas serious? Yeah, that's how we move over here.
How we move over here? Yeah, that's how y'all move.
Yo, he had to lock in and play it cool.
Y'all niggas see, hey, listen. every time I pop out LA, I'm gonna be with my bro, right? And I'm gonna pop out with that geek shit, that dog shit on me. So I ain't had no dog shit on me because I'm not standing time. You know what I'm saying? I would have popped out that dog shit, had some dog shit. You put that shit on though. You
put that shit on though. Look at these fucking heathens, bro. Oh, I can't wait to enslave some shit. You put that shit on though. Like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking? They want to be us so bad. These people are the wicked. Remember the movie Get Out? When you had the movie Get Out, how you had all them Edomites that was trying to take Jake, but then you had that one Asian dude in there, you know, betting on Jake. That's all you. That's all they is. That was their daddy. You know, some rich ass, spoiled ass brats, and they around here just having their way. You put that shit on though. What? I hate this place, man. I hate this place. How we the most despised, but the most, you know, the most copied or whatever you want to say, the most emulated.
I pop out LA, I'm gonna be with my bro, right? And I'm gonna pop out with that geek shit, that dog shit on me. So I ain't had no dog shit on me because I'm not standing time. You know what I'm saying? I would have popped out that dog shit, had some dog shit. You put that shit on though. You put it. Like, I really just ain't know
that shit on though,
how y'all wanted me to do shit. You feel me? So I just popped out all black. You see what I'm saying? I gave them
the most fire. That's right, bro. That's right. That's how you know. Scripture says we are a royal people, a royal priesthood. Hey, we the people of the Most High. You know? Why? I gotta grab that. Let me grab this too real quick though. But the scripture says the poor man is honored for his, you know. So why you got all this money? You want to be next to this guy who ain't got no money? Because it's really Jake. They want to be Jake. These nations they know that we the real prize. No matter how much money, riches, fame, jewelry, all that you got, they know that what we have and being Israelites is the real prize. Would you rather be an Israelite or would you rather be a goop? It says 2 Ezra chapter 6 verse 27, for evil shall be put out and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. In these last days, the truth which have been so long without fruit is being declared, man. Okay, there's a saying. There's 3 things you can't hide for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Okay? All right? So, you know, this whole reality we live in right now, where they you know, let's see, poverty. Bear with me 1 second. It says, here we go. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, or Ecclesiasticus, Salakia. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 30. Let me go up. This is all good, man. But I'm gonna get right to the point. It's getting late. It says, verse 28, my son, glorify thy soul in meekness. You see? You're not supposed to get proud, get arrogant, you know, start flashing. You see Jake, when they get that money, they start showing, yeah, nigga, yeah, they all in the camera showing a $100,000 chain and stuff. It says, my son, glorify thy soul in meekness and give it honor according to the dignity thereof. And this is what you don't see amongst our people very much, man. Okay? They don't understand that. It says, who will justify him that sinneth against his own soul? Right, you selling out. Anybody going, nah. And who will honor him that dishonoreth his own life? Yeah, you can't get no honor, that, you know, for dishonoring your own life. This is why when you start doing little weird backdoor shit, nobody respects you. You don't even respect yourself. You can't even look in the mirror. That's why these rappers, they wearing them big old shades. You know, they can't respect themselves. And the baby was saying he would never want to get tattoos. Now you're getting tattoos. Why? Because they got to put on this persona that I'm still a man. I'm still a man. I know I let this man do this to me, but I'm still a man. You ain't a fucking man. Okay? It says, he that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? So he that is honored in poverty, we're honored in poverty. We ain't got nothing, and we still the most honored people, the most desired, like the you know, the elder bro said, the most sought after. It says, and he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? So you dishonorable in your McLaren, how much more when you back to the the sweatshops, man? Okay, how much more? Hey, and I'm gonna say this too, because before I forget, I probably might do a little lesson on it tomorrow, bro. But these tariffs is crazy. Okay, these tariffs done kicked in. Okay, I had just had to pay my light bill. They sent me a letter in the mail saying it's gonna be $60 extra on my next light bill for the tariffs. What? Then I got a coworker. He told me how he got something delivered to his house from UPS. I guess it came from overseas. He had to pay. He had to give them some money, a check or something, before he can get his what he bought. So he didn't have any money on him. So they took it back and said, we'll bring it back tomorrow if you have the money. So these tariffs, man, this place is through. The Lord done with this place. Pretty soon, we're not going to be able to afford. If we are already poor, we're not going to, and in poverty, we really not going to be able to afford nothing soon, man. So the Lord got to do something soon. Okay? So it ain't going to matter how many, you know, luxurious cars or fancy chains and none of that stuff you have. It's not going to pay off in the end, man. All right? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He looking sick. He like, man, I want to be black so bad. How, you know? Because in their spirit, they know what awaits us. If the Lord give if the Lord given all these other nations all this, look how wooed and wild he was when he was there. If the Lord given these nations all that, imagine what he's going to give us. Okay?
Like how y'all wanted me to do shit, you feel me? So I just popped out all black, you see what I'm saying? I gave him my last one. So you gotta send me something. It's like most be sending me that shit. It be or like most of the shit I be.
Right after that video they showed him, now he's acting, bro. Now he's straight up just playing it cool so he can figure out a way to get up out of there, bro.
He said that too, though. He said they was telling him about rappers and other celebrities that was doing the gay shit to get the pape. So they probably were showing them the videos. Look, this such and such, this such and such. It's all going around Hollywood. You hear about from Jaguar, right? Oh, here's a video. This nigga Whack 100. There's a video. All these videos are getting floated around all of Hollywood, blackmailing people and keeping people in line. Okay. It's one big club and you ain't in it, which you shouldn't want to be in it. You should never want to be in it. But yeah, so they were showing them videos of more than likely these particular people that he thought was the greatest people in the world, you know, doing something strange for a piece of change, and it's sickening. Okay, let me grab this too real quick. It's a shame. Let's see, this is the book of, this is Ephesians chapter 5, verse, let's go to verse 10. It says, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. We supposed to have no fellowship with the fruitful works of darkness. Look how dark this dude look right here. You know, he got this big ass chain on, but he know what he had to do to get the chain. He know how wicked he is. He know, but they don't care. They're heathens. Okay. This is what these heathens always did. They always went into other guys to, you know, to get, you know, on a level. But we got the true God. It says, for it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. It's a shame to speak of what these individuals have done behind closed doors, man. When they thought nobody was watching, but the Lord seen it. Okay, and the Lord gonna start exposing all this. So this is why you gotta wear the Diddy parties and stuff. They're gonna have all this stuff coming out. If there's a video of you, if you did anything on the internet, there's a video somewhere. And at the right time, the Lord gonna start bringing all this shit out. He gonna start pulling all this shit out. You know, Scripture says, "There's nothing hid that shall not be uncovered, nothing revealed that shall not come abroad, or nothing hid that shall not come abroad." So everything is gonna all come to the light in these last days. People who you thought was, you know, the man in high school, or how I go that 50 Cent song, "Damn, homie, back in high school you was the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you?" Listen, people who you thought was, you know, you gonna find out that nah, these guys, you know, these guys ain't right. Look at TD Jakes. People thought that TD Jakes, we got niggas that really thought TD Jakes was a man of the Lord. He was a pastor. Find out this dude was a whole freak, you know. But that's all of them. That's all of them, man. It's how you gotta look at it. When you turn on TV, sodomite, 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 warlock, sorceress, you know, and it's gonna help you see clear. It says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." Right. So you gotta be, hey man, you know, circumspect. See how his whole energy changed in this video because he realized these motherfuckers is trying to get me. And you gotta, you know, it's hey, you know, it's crazy to say, but you gotta be in the spirit of everybody always out to get you, because you Jake, and we surrounded by, you know, these wicked nations, man, and they are out to get us.
Got this shit. Y'all niggas tap in. Y'all niggas see the fans. Hold on.
Now he putting his chain on.
Hey, man. Smart. Y'all niggas ready? Man, fuck private child boys, man. Y'all niggas see I got Ace and Rock shit on, man. Youngest nigga out piping with this shit. Y'all niggas better tap in. Ace and Rock got all this shit. This denim. Y'all niggas see this denim all sweating animal. I done made it. Fuck y'all niggas so out. Yeah.
Y'all done made it.
God know not to have it.
That's what it mean to make it.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at that. That's how you know it's Jake too. You see, he talking about God, God this, God that. Every time he bring up God, they start looking uncomfortable because they don't serve the same God. And the last thing they want is for God to show up and you know, stop them, because they know what they doing. You know, they know what they doing. He was just not finding out.
God know not to have things like that. You know what I'm saying? Little Tony. 05, it's hard. Stop playing with us.
Look at these dorks.
That's dope.
Stop playing with us.
Huh? Oh, it's a joke. That's dope. Huh? When are you gonna leave here? Oh, it's a joke. Oh. They're asking what car are you gonna leave? It's a joke. All of it. Oh, which one you want? Which one? You can take that one.
So that was based on a true story, bro. We just watched.
Based on a true story. That's crazy. Let's go right here real quick. I'm ready to close out. Let's go to ChatGPT. All right. I'm going to show you this real quick. This is ChatGPT. It says, this is the meaning of Ecclesiasticus 10:9. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such a one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. Okay, and you know, we're gonna go into ChatGPT to go deeper into the scripture to get an understanding, okay, of what this means. Which, when you go into this word covetous, let's grab that real quick. All right. which to be covetous is a sin. All right, the Lord does not like a covetous spirit. All right. Let's go right here. Let's go to covetous. Let's grab it in the blue letter. We might be able to grab it now. No, I won't be able to select it. Not on this phone. I'll grab it in the end of my line, but that's all right. It says covetous.
Strong's G 4123. Planectase. Planectase.
It says, this is the word for covetous. It says, one eager to have more, especially what belongs to others. You see? And that's why he was, you know, so like, wow. Because he was eager to have that. And he started thinking about as he was looking at what they had, he started thinking about what he wanted to have. Okay? And that puts a covetous spirit on Jake. This is why Esau has that, you know, he pushes that flashy lifestyle with these celebrities and these rappers and stuff. He had them push that flashy lifestyle, so they started getting covetous, which is a sin. Okay? It says greedy of gain, covetous. It says desiring more, eager for gain, advertuous, hence a defrauder, covetous, right? It says hence a defrauder, because if you covetous, then you will defraud somebody or do it or do any type of how you say it? I almost said malpractice, but I mean, I guess you could say that for lack of better words. You know, whatever you can do to try to get into that position or of power, or have whatever that person has that you want. You know, it's like that's what happened with King David. You know, when he went into Bathsheba, he was being covetous. The Lord said, if you wanted such and such, I would have gave you such. I mean, if you wanted more women, I would have gave you more women. But because you coveted another man's wife, that was a sin. Then you caused that man to get put to death because of that sin. Okay? It says meaning and explanation. Why is earth and ashes proud? This is a poetic way of saying, why would a mortal man of dust, be proud? It's reminding us of human frailty, morality, and insignificance in the grand scheme. We are, after all, destined to return to dust, echoing Genesis 3:19. For dust you are, and dust you shall return. Right? Meaning, you know, what's the point of you being proud in this flesh? It says this verse is a warning of pride and greed. It says there is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. Greed, covetousness is portrayed as extremely corrupting. So when you're covetous, that corrupts you. All right? It says it is portrayed as extremely corrupting. All right? And that's why these guys, they get corrupted. As we read earlier, you know, men of perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, they become corrupted because why? That greed, that because of that covetousness. It says possibly the most dangerous of sins in this context. So what? Because when you get covetous, you'll do anything. Covetousness leads to murder. It leads to all type of stuff. Okay? Adultery. Just being covetous. It leads to all these things. It says, for such an one setteth his own soul to sell. The greedy person is willing to sell out their own soul, compromising their values and integrity for material gain. So, like I said, selling your soul is not actually signing a dotted line. It's compromising their values and integrity for material gain. Okay? That's why these guys sell out. Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. This is a figurative way of saying he lost compassion, sacrifices his inner self, and disregards his own humanity for worldly possessions. In biblical language, the bowels were considered the seat of deep emotion and mercy. Right, you pretty much done destroyed yourself. And this is what you see amongst our people when they start going off and selling out. They end up, going left field, man. And now you can't even recognize yourself because you have casted away your bowels. It says Ecclesiastes chapter 10, this is a summary. is a powerful reflection on the foolishness of pride and the destructiveness of greed. You see? Sirach 10 or Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 9 is a powerful reflection on the foolishness of pride and the destructiveness of greed. It emphasizes the shortness of life, the lowly nature of human beings, and the tragedy of someone who trades eternal worth for temporary riches. You see? That's it. Look, it says it emphasizes the shortness of life, the lowly nature of human beings, how low a nigga will go, okay, selling out, and the tragedy of someone who will trade eternal worth for temporary riches. Let me know if you like this. Yeah, you get the point. Okay, so yeah, you know, so in this case, Lil Tony, you know, whoever that guy is, you know, and he might come into the, who knows, you never know, the guy might come into the truth. He might, he could be of the elect, you know, he might come out of all that stuff and be of the elect, you know. That's just wishful thinking. Scripture says how we our heart's desire is that Israel shall be saved. You know, we want Jake to get it, to wake up, snap out of it, you know. But the fact that he didn't do none of that shit after he done seen a McLaren, he was in that environment, that shows you that, you know, he have some type of level of integrity, you know, some type of kind of a spine, all right. And, you know, that's something that we all gonna have to stand for, man. Hey, Scripture says you shall be tempted, man. You're gonna be all tempted in these times you're coming into. So you're gonna have to remain firm for YAHAWASHI in the spirit, and just pray the Lord, you know, is definitely with us, man. All right. So like, you know, I ain't mean to make this video too long, you know, but I definitely did want to just sit back and, you know, allow the spirit to take over. And then, Lord, when I can start doing this more, you know, this computer is trash. I'm trying to get another computer. Lord will, I can, you know, the Lord bless me with another computer or something. And that way I can do this more, where I could just sit down and, you know, allow the spirit to flow. And like I said, Lord, when this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect, double honors to our teachers and elders and apostles who taught us his truth and redeemed us, or, you know, let me say it like this, has given us this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit of YAHAWASHI to be redeemed, okay, from this wicked world, you know, this wicked, you know, that wicked industry, and ultimately this wicked life, you know, these chains of darkness, going back into the light, going back into life, man. All right. The water YAHAWASHI, call Allah YAHAWASHI. Shalom.